What's going on, YouTube world? It's Jay Coffee back again with another one, guys. And you see, we're talking about Dexter, A New Blood. Okay, I like to bring content on movies, TV shows, binge watching, etc. And if you're into that kind of content, make sure to subscribe to this channel. We talk a lot of different topics over here. There's literally something for everyone on this channel, but Dexter was a dope show to me. I was a big fan of this show. Me and the wife used to watch this all the time, all the way through from the beginning to the end. And, it ended 9, 10 years ago, and a lot of people were not too crazy about the ending of Dexter. The fact that they revived this show is really cool to me. Like, I like that concept. I can't really think of another time. I mean, we see shows in movies and things like that rebooted or a new version of it or sometimes a prequel or something like that, but for it to be flat out brought back all these years later is a pretty dope concept. I think I can't think of another show that's happened with recently aside from Roseanne, which went very left, to say the least. It's not even called Roseanne anymore. It's a whole nother show. As you know, right when the show was kicking off, Roseanne put out some tweets that a lot of people deemed to be very offensive, so they had to kick her off, kill her off of her own show, and change the name of it. I guess it's still going, though, which is surprising to me. But getting back to talking about Dexter, episode 1 of A New Blood was yesterday, so I'm going to let you guys know at this point there's going to be some spoilers. So if you haven't watched it yet, but you are intrigued in this video, go check it out, come back, and join the discussion in the comments. We're going to try to be putting content out weekly when the new episodes drop. So once again, there are spoilers. Final warning. Let's carry on and jump into this, man. At the end of Dexter, and jump in the comments for those who were a fan of the show. Do you agree that you didn't really necessarily care for the ending of Dexter? He buried his beloved sister Deb at sea, and then he made moves, and next thing we know, we see the show closing with Dexter living in a cabin somewhere, which looked to be Alaska, I thought. And as we find out on the first episode of this new show, Dexter, now going by the name Jim Lindsay, some people call him Jimbo, friends and stuff call him Jimbo. It's not Alaska where he's living, it's Iron Lake, New York. Okay, which actually turns out to be a real place, I guess, a very scenic place to live, a small town. But I'm almost kind of feeling like this is a bit of a plot hole or something. Does that make sense? A plot hole, something in the plot and the storyline that just kind of doesn't really add up. Maybe I'm wrong. You let me know what you guys think in the comments, but I'm all about storyline. You know what I mean? I'm all about a good storyline. That's like, for instance, Breaking Bad, why I was such a fan of that show. Every detail in the storyline meant something. Remember, even the ricin didn't come into play until like the final episode when Walt was on the run and had to get revenge on everyone who did him wrong, free Jesse from the Nazis, and make everything right on this side as he got ready to cross over to the other side, the upper room. You know what I mean? So on this show, Dexter, like I said originally, it seemed like he was living off in Alaska somewhere, or maybe I was thinking maybe it's another country. Maybe he's off in the wilderness in Canada somewhere or something like that. Who knows? He's just in Iron Lake, New York, off in the sticks in the state of New York, which kind of doesn't really add up, right? Like I said, Alaska kind of seemed, I mean, it's a part of the United States, but it's not like the continental U.S., but maybe he was able to get out there and kind of start a new life. But he went from Miami to New York, and he is a wanted serial killer. I don't know. That just kind of seems like that doesn't really add up. Let me know if you guys agree. But we find out very early on, that his girlfriend is a cop, which it's a small town, so it's a small police force. I guess she's the chief of police in Iron Lake, New York. Dexter's all about keeping a routine. He has a farm, I guess we could say, farm animals, ice fishing on his property, cutting firewood. He goes out every day and has this deer that he, I guess, to keep his cardio and exercise game up, as Dexter was always kind of a fitness dude or whatever, he liked to stay fit. He gets up every morning after tending to his farm and whatnot. He goes for a jog and then gets his deer, this white buck, in his sights, crosshairs on his gun, but doesn't shoot it. And then it's off to work at the fishing, hunting store. Now, we see right away the way Dexter in the original show used to talk to his deceased father, either, the ghost of his father, or living in his own head and, talk like his father wasn't really there, however you want to look at it. That is now happening with his sister, Deb. We see that right away, that Deb is in his thoughts often, as he feels very guilty, the fact that she died because of him, he feels. Now, a lot of this stuff we saw on the trailers for the show, including, we saw his sister on the trailer, him arguing with her at some point, and we also saw that his son tracks him down at one point, and that he kind of keeps having thoughts about wanting to kill again or whatever. These are all things obviously that we know the show is going to be about, whether it was in the trailer or it's just common sense. But you would think, and I was kind of thinking, that there would be a slow lead up to this, that this may play out over the course of a season, but that is not the case. They jump right back into this stuff very quick. As we see, how normally when Dexter would hunt down one of his victims or whatever, he would do his research, follow them around, do recon work, get pictures, see if the people were still up to their evil ways and stuff like that. Well, in this first episode, he kind of bypassed all that and went right to a kill, as some rich douchebag comes back to town. The small town that they live in, his father's rich. He comes back, he's throwing a big party, he wants to buy a big gun at the store, and he just finds out that this guy's a douchebag. He was in a boating accident before where he killed a bunch of people, but his rich dad and him paid off one of his friends to take the rap. And then to top all this off, that deer that I was telling you about, that Dexter likes to chase down every day and hunt but not kill, this guy kills his deer. So that was enough between that and all the other stuff that Dexter heard about this guy. No recon work. He didn't follow him around. This was all stuff he overheard. The guy kills his deer, and that's his ass. Dexter's knocking the guy out cold, setting up a new kill room, confronting the guy about his evil ways, and bang, after all these years, he's back to killing. There's even a line where the guy says, "What, are you a serial killer?" And he says, "I was." And he was like, "No, actually, I still am." So that all developed very quick in the first episode. And also his son shows up, hunts him down. He has the feeling he's being watched throughout episode 1, as he keeps kind of feeling the presence of someone on his property. He's out in public, noticing someone is kind of watching him from a distance, but he can never figure out who it is. It's his son Harrison, all grown up, hunt down his father, found him. And, originally Dexter's ecstatic to see him, but the ghost of his sister Deb is like, "You can't do it. You got to tell him to go. Pretend you don't know him." She reminds him, everyone that gets close to you dies or their life is ruined, but more or less dies, including me. So he sends him on his way. But after he gets that kill under his belt, he kind of ends up arguing with the ghost of his sister. She's like, "What are you doing? You didn't learn your lesson." And he's like, "This is who I am." And he ends up going, finding his son before he gets on the bus to leave town. And he's ready to, I guess, tell his son what happened and catch up on, all that lost time, and ready to be a father again. You know what I mean? He has been living off in the wilderness all these years under this new identity. He's ready to be back, like be the old Dexter once again. So as I was saying, they did not take any of this slow. They jumped right into the storyline. All this stuff happened in episode 1. Aside from that, the only other storyline that really seemed to kind of be playing out is that we're seeing, and it kind of mimics something going on in real life, as I talked about in other videos, that there's been a lot of missing Native women in Canada and the United States. Well, on this show, Dexter's wife, who is the cop, the chief of police or whatever, she's Native. This town has a Native American population who is against drilling, as there's fracking going on in the area. We see that they're protesting that in one part of the show, but that also is all these reports in all these bulletins of all these missing Native women. So obviously it kind of seems like Dexter's probably gonna, now that he's back to his old ways, killing with his code and everything like that, I'm sure Dexter is going to hunt down whoever is responsible for killing all these missing women. And at the same time, it looks like now he's going to try to have to hide his son from his girlfriend, because obviously, that's ties him back to his past or his true identity. So all in all, I thought it was a pretty good episode. Like I said, I liked the idea of them reviving this show. It was a really good show. Once again, they kind of moved a little fast with the storyline. I guess it is what it is when it comes to that. We'll have to see how this all plays out. Comment and let me know if you watched it, what you thought of episode 1, if you think this show is going to be a success. I wonder what the plans are for this. Is there just one season? Is there going to be multiple seasons? I mean, I'm guessing maybe they're just going to play it as it goes and see how the show does. But all in all, I enjoyed it. The only kind of, as far as the storyline goes, that doesn't make sense, a hole, I guess you will, in the logic in the storyline, is the whole thing about the fact that he was this massive wanted serial killer in Miami and he's hiding out right in New York dating a cop. It just, I don't know, it just kind of seems a little unrealistic. Then again, I know it's TV, it's not real, but like I said, I'm all about my storyline. So you guys let me know what you think about all this. Let me know if you watch the show. Let me know if you're into these kind of videos talking about hit TV shows, binge watching TV shows and whatnot. If you are, drop some names of some shows in the comments or movies that you'd like to talk about in some videos. I thank you guys for watching. Make sure to sub to the channel. Daily content. If you're new over here, we talk about music, news, sports, current events, life, and much more. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.